Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I was expecting my session to be post lunch, but thank you for bringing me forward. Uh, I'm going to talk about humanizing AI, right? Just before that, my background, where I come from, uh, I work for SAP India. Okay, SAP, most of you would know, is a software producer, one of the leading software producers for enterprise resource planning, right? ERP is what we know it. And we design softwares for almost all business processes, be it finance, be it manufacturing, supply chain, right? Human resources, so on, right? Okay, okay. Uh, so I work with SAP as a HR strategy and value advisor. Okay, so basically what I do is I work with corporates. I worked very closely with senior leaders who are SAP's prospects and customers when they are adopting a transformation journey. Okay, and specifically now, all the conversations in last 1 year that I am having with CEOs, CHROs, CFOs, that is centered around AI, right? And rightly so, right? You would also be using AI in some form or the other, Netflix, Amazons, and all, right? So before I dwell into the topic, let's do a bit of time travel, if this works. Okay. We all know the story behind slide bulb, right? Now, when an electric bulb was being invented, right? We know who invented it, right? Nobody knows. Edison. Okay. 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 So when Edison was inventing, when he was in the process of inventing electric bulb, right? So people thought that he's creating something for the transatlantic world. He was criticized a lot in British Parliament, and they thought that he would never be successful in whatever he's creating, right? And here we are today. Okay, we have surpassed electric bulbs. We are towards LEDs now, right? And we have consumed them to whatever extent we could have. And this one is pretty interesting. Okay, when coffee was first introduced to the community, it was in 16th century, and it was used by Sufi Muslims to stay awake during their devotion hours, generally at night, right? And slowly, as it gained popularity, people were amused by the effects of coffee because it could keep them awake, it would keep them energized, and people suddenly started finding more time in whatever they were doing, right? And then there were different thoughts. Different thoughts around people considered this group who consumed coffee as group of reactionaries who would sit together and debate on topics which were not of a popular interest to the other set of communities, right? But then we came forward and we see coffee as part of our uh, uh, daily lives, right? Especially people working in corporates, we don't mind going to the pantry and sipping a coffee for networking or over the meetings. We keep doing it, right? And there are so many popular brands now investing in coffees. I recently heard there is a brand that is investing in carbogenated coffee beans, right? So coffee along with soda. I don't know what it would taste like, but that's being researched on. And then we have also heard about aeroplanes, right? When they were being invented, we have come long way, right? Any guesses how long the first flight lasted when an aeroplane was invented by Wright brothers? Any guesses? How long was the flight? The first flight lasted for 11 seconds, right? And it was considered to be a successful experiment, right? And we have flights now moving between continents, and we have come long way to drones, right? Now, why I'm talking all this? And the reason is when we talk about, can I click it from here? It don't seems not to be working. Yeah, just I'll tell you. Then we talk about AI, right? And we're not talking about now. So AI, when it came into our lives probably 7, 8 years ago, right? In different forms or fashion. And we went through spectrum of emotions related to AI. And the biggest emotion was fear, right? What will AI do to us, right? And obviously, first things, it would just disrupt the job market. It would take away all our jobs. People would not be left with jobs. AI would be doing everything. Machines would control humans, right? We all have gone through these articles and newspapers and news, right? This is what AI would do to us. But at the same time, AI also came up with a lot of advantages and opportunities, right? We could do work faster. Uh, we could have more opportunities. We could discover things which we have never discovered. Can just move on. Now, specifically, some of the challenges when you apply AI to human resource management or any other business processes, right? One of the things that we talk about biasness, right? We talk about ethics. We talk about data. How much data is AI storing about us? Is it okay to share that, right? We all have Alexas or Google homes at our places, right? We keep saying Alexa sun rahi hai. One of my friends, he switches off the Alexa when he has to plan a vacation with his wife, right? कि मेरे को recommendations आने लगेंगे उसमें से. So we all have these apprehensions, right? But the strategy is how do we navigate through this? Because we all understand there are a lot of opportunities that come in. Okay? Just move on. Now, specifically applying AI in HR world, right? Where as employees we go to offices, there are HR teams who are responsible for our productivity, for partnering with our business to ensure that there is adequate demand and supply for people to run those businesses, right? But lately we have seen AI technologies coming so much into play in corporate world, right? So now this is a research from that my company did, surveying people, asking them what are you okay with as far as these intelligent technologies or AI is concerned, right? So what people talk about is they want technology to enable them, but they do not want technology to evaluate them or control them, right? And this is where the ethics part comes in, right? So when I say enable them, so do my basic, correct my emails, do a spell check, right? Give suggestions, suggest me trainings just like on Netflix we do have, right? So those are the things which people are okay with AI doing it. But what employees are not okay with are, okay, evaluate me when I leave a company, do my exit interview, right? Evaluate me on my performance. How did I perform, right? Or for example, predict if I am likely to leave an organization or not, right? So these things are not possible, right? But you would find a lot of solutions in the market. They claim to do this, right? But then the point is, where are those ethics coming in, right? If you can move to the next slide. So again, another research that says, what are the areas where employees are generally comfortable in using AI, right? So, read my calendars, read my emails, calculate how much time I worked, right? All okay, okay, this is company's data, you read it, right? But do not judge me basis my physical attributes, right? How I am sitting for an interview, what was my posture, right? There are solutions to do this, right? Automated evaluation of candidates, right? Read my eyes, whether I was able to do an eye contact during my interviews, right? So these are some of the things that people are not okay with as far as application of AI is concerned. Okay, just move on to the next slide. And then talking about AI, again, no conversations can go without talking about ChatGPT, right? When it was launched last year, 2021, but came into market in 2022, when it was launched, we all felt gold has arrived, right? All the problems of the world would be solved by ChatGPT, right? And the adoption that it saw, right? That was phenomenal, right? So 100 million users in 5 days, right? And thanks to all of us, our assignments, our homeworks, our emails, we contributed to that 1 million, right? Facebook took 5 years, Instagram took 2.5 years, right? But then there are a lot of big sites, right? So it could do a lot of things which we were not able to do. It could generate text, which is challenge for most of us, right? We have to write big emails, we have to write big explanations. So ChatGPT was super. It could do that very well. And very real chance, it's just like a calculator of 2020s when calculators were invented, right? And some of us can relate, right? They were completely banned in schools, colleges, right? You could not use calculators, you have to do the calculations yourself, right? But there was a merit in that. And I will tell you how it relates to ChatGPT as well. So to use a calculator, you would actually need to know the mathematics, right? So if you were to generate a result of a sum, something, you need to know what is the plus sign and you need to press it actually, right? You need to know what is under root. You need to know what is division. You need to know how the brackets calculate the BODMAS, if anybody remembers that. So you actually need to know this to use a calculator. Same is the thing with ChatGPT, right? So you actually should know what is the kind of output that you are expecting to use a ChatGPT. Because if you do not know all these things, you do not know what is the kind of output you need to expect, you don't know what kind of email to write or what kind of answer to give, then there are problems that you can get into. And the biggest one is hallucination, right? So ChatGPT or LLMs or generative AI, they can cause hallucinations which you can never think about, right? And I'll give you a real life example. One of my friends, she called me last month. Her uncle had expired and she was to write an obituary message which gets posted on newspapers, right? So she used ChatGPT, right? So it generated a very good text. That is what it is for. So and so went to heavenly abode on so this date. The prayer meeting is on this date. He was a nice man. He worked for noble causes, for underprivileged child, so and so forth. So she came to me and said, Saurabh, I used ChatGPT for this. I said, very sorry to hear about your Mamaji. I never knew he was such a great man. She said, no. All this was generated by ChatGPT. My Mamaji was very arrogant. He never went out of the house post his retirement. So I said, you're going to put this? She said, yes. It looks nice. Do you have any objection? I said, no. Nobody has objections, right? So that is the hallucination, right? We start imagining things that do not exist. Now take this in HR context, right? A candidate's profile comes and there is a AI generator who would create a brief of the profile, right? And he starts putting these things. Excellent team leader qualities, excellent leadership qualities, right? Represented college there, elsewhere, this, right? And these LLMs are capable of doing this. But you cannot use this, right? And these are the reasons why there are so much apprehensions in corporate to use these technologies. And there are toll gates being created how to use this. And I'll talk about this. Another one, bias. So ChatGPT is tested and demonstrated to be biased for women, right? And it was tested with gender neutral languages, Turkish, Bengali, right, which are gender neutral. So it would always associate professions like nurse or a cook to a woman, driver and engineer to a man, right? So when it would reply, it would say he. When you talk about a driver or a mechanical engineer, it would reply in she when you talk about nurse or a cook, right? So those kind of, is that for me? Very scary. Okay, I'll wrap up in another 5 minutes. Let's just move on. But still, there are a lot of use cases in HR that we are using and which my customers are asking me how you can enable us, right? Job descriptions, right? How do you create job descriptions which are not biased to a particular gender, which covers the skill set that your organization may not have, but people in the world may have, so that you can include them. Interview questions, offer letter generation. So all sort of use cases within HR which requires generating text, right? Interview feedback, for example. We are using a lot, generative AI a lot in defining goals or KPIs, right? And most of the problems that industry faces is the managers are not uh, educated enough or good enough to how to write or define goals for their employees and how to get feedback. These are some of the areas where generative AI is being used now. One very interesting use case I'll want to mention before I end, 6 degrees, right? We all have heard of 6 degrees, right? Every person in this world is connected by 6 degrees. We talk about this, right? Now, what AI has enabled us is every skill is connected to another skill also by 6 degrees, right? Great application in AI. If we are able to create skill ontology, okay, don't confuse it with oncology, because that's some of my customers confuse what it skills has to do with cancer, right? So ontology is grouping of skills and understanding the relation between the skills, right? So if I know a particular skill and if I want to move to a different skill, right, how many steps I need, what do I need to go to that particular skill, AI is able to give that answer to us. And just move on to the next slide, and I'll give you an example. Just move to the next slide. For example, a physics teacher wants to move to a career in marketing manager, right? So traditionally, if a person would ask this to the HR department, hey, I want to do this, बोलेंगे क्या बात कर रहे हो यार, right? Not possible. Because the reason is nobody ever realized what is the path to reach there, right? Now with AI, we are able to find out that path. So let's say a physics teacher having certain skills, classroom management, lesson planning, and obviously some physics. But he also has some skills around scientific methods, mathematics, data modeling. Now these skills overlap with another role, which is a data scientist who would know these skills, but additionally data visualization, dashboarding, and big data, right? And then moving on, a BI analyst would have some overlap with skills that a data scientist would have. And if you traverse this to 6 degrees, you would actually reach a marketing manager. What is the kind of skill a marketing manager would need? Now for organizations, for HR, for talent management department, this is a boon, right? They can actually give a career path to the employees which nobody had ever imagined, okay? Only by way of associating a skill to a related skill, okay? So I think I just wanted to highlight this particular example, and I'll conclude because this is pretty scary. So we talk about AI, right? So artificial intelligence. So we do talk about AI will replace humans, but the actual is humans with AI skills will replace humans without AI skills. And humans with AI skills are only going to be humans with augmented intelligence, everything that AI would bring in to add to whatever humans could do, right? Obviously, our strength as humans lies in emotions, empathy, creativity, critical thinking, and consciousness, which obviously artificial intelligence cannot bring in. So I would want to leave here and take any questions if you have on this topic.